My father and mother came here in 2001 and we took them into go-go bars to see what it was like. And they were amazed. But they said there's not a problem with the girl dancing, you know, on a pole. Okay, no problems. Drinks. There's not full-blown sex on the floor or anything else. It's not that bad. You don't have to go and mix with these people. You can stay away from them. In Pattaya, they have them everywhere. You know, all over the Far East. It's not just in Thailand. Thailand portrays this image of the sex capital of the world, Pattaya. But Hong Kong, Singapore, India, I mean, everywhere has it. It's not just Thailand. And it's unfair that Thailand is labelled with this tag, you know, it's, in my opinion. And I'm a happily married man. I don't mess around with girls or anything else. But I still go to bars with friends and have a drink and we talk to the girls and that. I don't go home with them. What's the problem in that?
Thailand is famous for its sex industry. Let's not make any bones about that. And especially here in Pattaya, where I live, it's obviously in your face. Interestingly, prostitution, actually when compared to average wages, pays a lot better here in Thailand than it does in the United Kingdom. Prostitutes aren't making that much in Britain at the moment. But obviously it's still cheaper for people coming here from abroad. And, as I said earlier, a lot behave like children locked in a sweet shop. What are they going to find? I think a lot of them believe the hype, believe that some of the women here who will be your girlfriend for money, they don't just sell an act, they sell a whole process. And a lot of people are going to come to believe that it's real. And in most cases it isn't. Marriages happen and they fail hand over fist. Don't get me wrong, there are some very successful marriages here, and I know people with very, very successful marriages. But generally these aren't the ones with 60-year-old men and 20-year-old wives. There are plenty with 60-year-old men and 45-year-old wives, or with 30-year-old men and 20-year-old wives. But if somebody's young enough to be your granddaughter, she's going to look at you like a grandfather and not like a husband. And people get blind to this. And also people get married to people a lot younger and find you've got absolutely nothing in common. The last thing you want to do when you're older than 40 is go to a nightclub or go to a rock concert or any of these things that teenagers and people in their early 20s want to do. It's right for them. It isn't right for people our age. And it's a problem.
What they're looking for is comfort. They're looking for that special feeling. And that special feeling can come when you meet another person later on in life. It doesn't have to be a young girl. It doesn't have to be, it's just that they've found that maybe in their own countries it's difficult for them to meet women. The women in Europe or the women in America that are in their 50s or 60s, they're looking for Prince Charming that's 40. They don't want an old man either. So it's difficult for men and difficult for women around the world to meet people. So I think here it got a reputation as a place for men to come and meet girls and have a good time. But I think that's changing a little bit here in Pattaya specifically, and that it's a place to raise families now, it's a place to have a business, it's a tourism site. You still have that aspect here of men coming here to meet younger girls and have a good time. But typically now you see on Walking Street, which is the nightlife area, you see 50% young men coming here now, and they're just coming to party. They're coming to have a good time. Yes, they meet Thai girls, but they meet them on a par level, girlfriend, boyfriend, younger age. So whether I heard stories, I heard many stories, and some are too sad to repeat and some are funny to repeat.
And that's what happened to me. I met one girl my second time that I came here. She was 19 years old. I was 36 that time. She was 19. She was very cute. She has a baby already, 1 year old. And I met her. She was pretty nice with me, and she needed my help. And my help at that time was 200 euro for a month. That for me was nothing. And for her was 10,000 baht. So we make this kind of agreement. Okay, I take care of you and you take care of me. And it was nice. I stay 3 months with her. I was so happy, like I found paradise, you know. I feel me so good. And then I was back in Italy, and I don't have any ideas of what's going on here. I was a newbie here, you know. It was my second time, but was like my first time really that I have relation with somebody here. And then when I was in Italy, I was calling her almost every day, and I was sending to her 10,000 baht a month for be sure that he has enough money for heat, for, you know, for take care. Don't need to go work in a bar or something, you know. And she told me, yeah, I will go back home. I will stay with my family, and I will wait for you when you will come back after 6 months. And I was fine with this, you know. I was thinking that she was nice. And then after 6 months, I came back here, and I was feeling something wrong when just the day before I was leaving for Thailand, she was asking me, oh, please, can you send me 20,000 baht because I have I fall down with motorbike and I need to pay the doctor, this, that. And then I say, oh, okay, you can wait a couple of days. I will be there, you know. I can pay your doctor when I will be there. And she was very insisting. No, please, send me the 20,000 baht now. And I say, no, I will bring you by myself. I'm coming there. I don't want to pay expensive from 10% Western Union to send you the money now. I will come in a couple of days. They can wait. And she say, not happy, but she say, okay, I will wait you in the airport. And then I came over in Suvarnabhumi. And my friend came to pick up me in the airport, and I was looking for her. No way. Calling for her. Telephone closed. What's going on? I really didn't understand. I was like getting nervous. Why this happening to me? This girl was too nice to me. What happened?
My experience is that very, very few people get ripped off. Guys fall in love with girls the same as they would fall in love with girls anywhere else in the world. Some form relationships, some don't. When they form relationships, most of them seem to be very successful. In Living Dolls alone, in the 10-year period that Living Doll Showcase has been open, we've had more than 360 girls who have fallen in love with guys that have come here, gone to live in Europe, gone to live in Australia, gone to live in the States, got married, had kids. It's probably, if you look at it over a 10-year period, that's probably an average of 3 a month, which is quite a lot. And out of that, 90% of them are still together. So it's a much higher ratio than if you were in Europe or in the States. When you look at the divorce rates in those countries for sort of 18 to 30-year-olds, I think it's much higher than 10%.
It's incredible that some people who take every possible care when they're back in England do things when they get here that they would never think of doing. They suddenly realise that they're a lot wealthier than their wife's family, and their wife's family tends to see them as a great benefactor. And people who've come from really quite marginal backgrounds in England suddenly realise they have this position thrust upon them. And a lot of them enjoy it, and they think that they're wealthy, and they throw money around, and they're not careful. They buy houses and they put them in their wives' names. They allow wives access to their bank accounts, and they come under pressure from their families to hand over money. And suddenly more money than a family or a wife has ever seen before is offered to them, and unsurprisingly an awful lot take advantage of it. It's going to change the lives of the family. So they take the house, they spend all the money, And the guy is often left penniless and ends up having to go back to England, and his whole future has been ruined. And this is not just a one-off. We see this all the time. The amount of times I've come across somebody who says, oh, I'm going to get married, he's the love of my life, and this one's different. It's always that this one is different. 6 months later, they're moaning and complaining, and you really want to say, told you so. But it doesn't do any good, so you have to sort of commiserate. People don't behave with... There's a word that's fallen out of fashion recently, and I really wish people would learn it, and it's called prudence. People don't act with prudence here, and they will suffer because of it. Act in a way here that you would act back in England if you expected to make people take you seriously, because it's the same here. And you won't get any sympathy from people in positions of authority here if you behave without prudence.